It is Monday, guys. Welcome to another weekly vlog. You are going to be sick of the sound of me complaining. 2 weeks ago, we were isolating because Isaac had played with someone that has confirmed COVID. Last week, we had norovirus, so we were all shitting our brains out. Pardon the vulgarity of that statement. This week, got a text last night, a WhatsApp last night from two parents in Isaac's class. Their children had both tested positive for COVID. Lateral flow test. The school won't notify parents until the PCR test comes back. So basically, an outbreak happened on school on Friday, but a different class. And Isaac only went back on Friday. So one of the kids in the different class had a sibling in Isaac's class. So now there is an outbreak in P4, P7, which Isaac is in, and what's the other one? P3, I think. There's 3 year groups that there's been an outbreak in now in school, and Isaac's been back at school for 1 day. So basically one of the kids that had the lateral flow, the PCR came back positive, which we thought it would anyway. And all parents that sent their kid to school had to collect them again. We didn't. I think us and about maybe 12 other parents didn't send their kids to school because we knew that they were going to be sent home and we didn't want to risk that interaction with more people. We tested last night and this morning, lateral flow negative, no symptoms, and Isaac went this morning to a testing site and had a PCR test done. Because the rulings here is when a child tests positive in the class, all the children must go home and self-isolate, book a PCR test immediately. When they get results of that first PCR test, they can return to school, which I personally don't agree with, because you can develop COVID up to 10 days. So they make you test on day 2, then you go back, and then they make them test again on day 8. And if it's obviously negative, they just stay at school, but if it's positive, then they're sent home. But my query is between days 2 and 8, it can develop at any stage. There are people saying on the WhatsApp groups, I tested myself last night and I was negative, and I tested myself again this morning and I'm positive. So to me, either do nothing and just let the shit hit the fan, or if you're going, and that's not me, I know a lot of people have that viewpoint, especially, there are parents of kids and they're perfectly entitled to their viewpoint. We all think differently. I think if you've had experience of having the virus and you know how bad it is, or if you have family members that are extremely vulnerable, which in my position is my place, or some people have lost family members to this, and then we have a friend that almost died of this, and he's still undergoing physiotherapy, organ tests, all sorts. It can be very serious. I'm not preaching, apologies if you think I am, but what's the point in saying they've put all these things in place and then sending kids back when they could still be developing it? Personally, I think they should be homeschooling the kids until such times as they get a hold on this Delta variant. I'm thinking the 11 plus is probably going to be cancelled. That's due in 2 months. And all that work Isaac's done will go to nothing. And because he doesn't have siblings, and the time of year his birthday falls, and the location of where he lives, he won't get into a good school, which just maddens me. I'll not say he won't get into a good school. He won't get into the best school. The school he gets into, what I found out, which I didn't know, and I'm really happy about this, the school that I was a bit worried about, I knew they have kids coming out that perform really well. But Isaac's the type of kid that's very easily led, and if he's distracted by kids that aren't working, he'll do the same. And he has the ability. But they actually separate the kids in this school into classes of ability levels. So if you're, quite a bright child, which Isaac is, you'll be in one of the grammar stream classes, they call it. And then the kids that don't perform as well will be in a different class. So that made me feel a hell of a lot better. So if he does go to that school, as I've said all along, my concern isn't the academic achievement. My concern is him hanging about with kids that, as I've said before, are already breaking the law at age 9 and 10. So I'm just trying to avoid that like the plague at the minute. So yeah, we're all isolating. Isaac's had his PCR test. We're waiting for the results to come back. So that's what's happening. So we're all at home at the minute. Isaac's done a past paper, a bit of reading and a little bit of mathletics. Yes, you heard me, mathletics. It's a website where they do maths. But I have to show you. Because I'd been sick, I'd cannot believe she sent this today. A friend has sent a Lush package. So my dining room kitchen area just smells adorable. It was tied up with this. How nice is that? How 70s. I love anything like this, so I don't know what, you know what I'm probably going to do? Put that in the living room on top of the little table that sits so I can see it. So you can see it says Lush there. So it came around, it was like a knotted wrap around the box. She sent this to me because, it's my mate Becca, she sent it to me because she says, hope you're feeling better, to cheer me up, and it's like, oh, no, she spent a bloody fortune, which I'm not best pleased about. I have ranted on about this stuff. Sleepy. It is lavender scented. You like rub it, you put it on your temples, or I would put it on my neck, anywhere that you can get a good whiff of it when you're asleep, when you're trying to sleep. And it really, really helps with sleep. But not only do I have Sleepy, I also have Sleepy shower gel and Sleepy body spray. Not only does this actually help me sleep, the smell, if I could waft through there, it's just clouds of dusky tonka, lavender and ylang ylang, Y-L-A-N-G, ylang ylang, and bewitch with sweet nursery rhyme notes to help you bed down for the night. So those three and a bath bomb. Oh my goodness, look at that. You know what? I think that smells of Sleepy as well. Oh, Jesus. How nice. And then it says Lush on the other side. It's just, oh. So I was going to put them all upstairs, and then I thought, no, I'll show you some nice news for the day instead. So that was so thoughtful of her, which I have to send a text, and the nice little scarf it came wrapped in. So that's that. And I have something else to show you now. There is a website called Lucy Lockett Loves, and they had a sale. Now, these are dungarees. I've always wanted a pair of dungarees, and I saw these and I couldn't justify, I think they were 42 quid, and I thought I can't justify 42 quid. But then they had a sale, and these are like end of line. They've got all new designs out, so I bought myself some dungarees. There's the little, so they're like this sort of star print. I think they're quite drop waisted. They're so cute. Look at these. So I'm going to go try them on in a minute and I'll let you see. But I hope they fit. And I bought another couple of things. It's because they were in the sale, and I thought I can't resist. I mean, these leggings were a £5. Look at those. And they're so soft, and they're really good quality. They're not these type of leggings, if you're a woman you'll know, that when you stretch them you're going to be able to see through them when you bend over. They're really, really soft, and they're really good quality leggings. But this is really interesting, Alan. So that's those. So I've got another 2 pairs of leggings to show you. Yes, I bought 3 pairs of leggings when I was only supposed to be buying, but they were £5 each, guys. I don't know, can you see? They're bats. They look quite blue on that, but they're actually a really nice purple. So they are, now the thing is, it says these are size 14 to 20. Now that's size, and it even says on it, yes, size 14, because there is so much stretch in them. I'm just hoping, because I'm not a size 14. I wish I was a size 14, but that's not the case. And the last pair, so hopefully these fit. But they're so nice, and they're all so my cup of tea. So these are like stained glass roses. And I live in leggings. I'm wearing a dress today, unusually, purely because it's quite chilly and it's high neck and long sleeves. So yeah, I am now going to go and try on my dungarees and my leggings, and I will let you know if they fit. So that's some nice news for the day. I will leave my bags down here with my silica gel and report back to you guys as to what these fit like, and I'll go with my nice sleepy stuff and put it all away, and I'll speak to you guys later. This is ridiculous. Leggings 1 fit. Leggings 2 fit. Number 3 fit. So my dungarees fit. And I've got pockets, guys. I've got pockets.
Buddies.
Hello. This, my phone may go off while I'm talking to you. I just phoned Darren. I've just left the house literally 30 seconds ago. I've just phoned Darren to tell him something, and he's not answering the phone. So he's probably, the minute I've left, went straight to the toilet. Then again, he usually takes his phone with him when he does that. So, hello. It is Wednesday. I can't remember if I have done any recording this week. I think I done a little bit on Monday, possibly. So let me catch you up. Isaac went back to school last week, as you would have seen, for the first day on Friday. They had a team bonding, or a class bonding day, because they were bringing the two P7s together. And on Friday there was a COVID case in P4, which isn't Isaac's year. But what transpired over the weekend is, obviously, as I said would happen, anybody that has a sibling of someone in that class will get it and carry it to another class. So 2 WhatsApp messages came through on Sunday evening from 2 parents in Isaac's class whose kids had both tested positive. So they were sort of telling people before the school to give them the option as to whether to send their kid in or not. Now obviously the school can't inform parents until it's a PCR test, and at that time it was only lateral flow tests that were positive. But if you get a positive lateral flow, it's pretty certain you're going to get a positive PCR test. And indeed both these kids came back with positive PCR tests. I didn't send Isaac in. Any kids that were sent in were sent home like half an hour after they got there, because the results of the PCR came home. So Isaac went and had the PCR test, like one of the ones you actually go and have it done, you don't post off, on Monday, and it was negative. But we decided we were keeping him off the rest of the week, because at any stage that negative can become a positive, and I was thinking other kids could turn positive. I'd say there's about maybe 10 parents did the same thing, and from those 2 kids in that particular class, now we have 7 positive cases. The latest one just tested positive this morning, tested negative last night. One of the children, that's sibling, had it tested negative on their PCR on Monday, so that one that the school made us go get, negative. But when they tested their kid yesterday, positive. So they need to go and get another PCR. The test centres, there's a guy driving on the wrong side of the road because he wants to park his car outside his house because he doesn't want to go on his drive. Give me patience. So testing centres are just, people can't get PCR test booked because they're full. The tests are having to be sent to England to be tested because the labs in Northern Ireland are too busy. The amount of lateral flows we're having to use is ridiculous. I don't know how people are going to keep it up. Meanwhile, 3/4 of the parents are still sending their kids into school this week, which means it's just going to be a continuously, people are going to keep catching it. I was hoping when we sent Isaac back next Monday that it would be, the incubation period would be over, would be okay. But if people are still sending them in and people are testing positive, like even today, well then another child could get the virus today and that carries it into the following week. Personally, my personal opinion is the school needs to lock down for 2 to 3 weeks so that any cases of Delta are just eradicated from the school community entirely. As it is, there are so many, it's Irish Catholics, guys, they've got big families, mostly. In Isaac's class, he's the only one that's an only child. I mean, as an example, I have 3 cousins that have kids and they're all only children. My best friend has a child, she's an only child. But here, it's really unusual to have an only child. Families usually are 3 or 4 at least, occasionally 2, but mainly 3 or 4. So obviously you're going to have kids in all different year groups at primary school because they're all quite close together. As everybody knows, if you get one person in a household, especially a child that gets COVID, chances are all of you are going to get it. It's not feasible. It's just going to be stay at home, go to school, stay at home, go to school, everybody catching it all the time. And the teachers, I don't know how they're supposed to be coping with all this contact tracing, teaching in school, teaching on Google Classroom. It's just not feasible. So I've tested Isaac and myself because I have a sore throat, guys. But I have tested myself again last roll flow today, nothing. Isaac I tested this morning again, he's still testing negative. So we're negative at the minute. I'm hoping that Isaac has avoided it, but somebody's just slammed their brakes on in front of me without giving any indication they were going to do so, hence my collision alarm. Because what's happened is a delivery guy has driven past an address. Rather than continue up the road, find somewhere to turn and come back, he has put his brakes on in the middle of the road and he's reversing back down the road, down a main road. Oh dear God. So yeah, I really feel they should just close the school. Now, one of the parents of one of Isaac's classmates is a teacher in a secondary school. I think I did discuss this with you because I remember telling you your kids all were like really high risk and had loads of allergies. Her youngest son has tested positive. She has another in Isaac's class who I expect already has or is going to test positive. But she sort of knows what's going on behind the scenes with teachers, and she says the Education Authority are looking at the regulations again because it isn't feasible and it isn't working. So I would imagine it's going to be either lockdown for a few weeks, or it's going to be if there's a positive case in a class, the entire class goes home for 10 days regardless of a PCR result, which is what they're doing in some primary schools here, which I think is more sensible because it basically weeds out every single case in that class. Yes, it's a pain in the arse, but the other side of that is all the kids are in one place, so the teachers can concentrate on remote learning on Google Classroom and be there for the class through the day, rather than trying to teach a class in school and trying to go back and forth looking at Google Classroom and all the questions. So yeah, that's what's happening today. What I'm doing is, now I wouldn't be out of the house if it wasn't for this, and I'm very cautious about it. I'm going to have a mask on all day and I'm not going to sit anywhere near my mum. I think I'm fine, but my mum has a mammogram today. My dad has a bad knee and can't walk properly on it, so he can't take her. My mum has been hemming and hawing about this appointment and not going. Now, my mum has had breast cancer before and needs to keep an eye on this sort of thing. And I know if she's not taken for this test, she won't go and she'll not reschedule. So I'm going in to take her. I am negative. I tested myself this morning. I'm hoping it stays that way. But I'm coming in to take her for her mammogram, which is what's going on today. Right, I'll catch up with you guys later. Oh, I'm moving again. I'll let you know what's happening. I'm sure you're sick of hearing the word COVID in my vlogs, but this is life. I'm hoping that this time next year we can look back on this as a bad memory. But like everyone says, we're going to be living with this for some time yet. Would you have thought last year in the midst of lockdown, when the schools were off and we were all stuck in our houses, would you have thought we'd still be talking about this in a year's time? Right, I'll go guys, and I'll catch up with you later on. Good to see this, guys. How the hell am I supposed to reverse my parents' car out past that? I have to take my parents' car, obviously, because of the wheelchair. And that's right in front of it. I have to somehow get some sort of an angle to get... Fucking hell, really? And there's a sign on the back window that says, leave space for the wheelchair. How am I going to get my mum in? Honestly. Oh my god. Right, I have to get my mum out in this. So we got here. Let me see your mask. Your on candid camera. Yep, you're fine. How early are we? Got here in good time. The funeral that was there was gone by the time we got there. There's a wee ramp there to get in, but wait till you see the waiting area for wheelchairs. See the problem? Yep. Step.
You doing that for Darren?
So we're out on the... Am I doing that for Darren? No, you'll be going live on YouTube with this. Just been and picked these up from my dad. His knees worse. So, hoping they might help me talking to myself. Hello! Look at the state of me. It's the same day. Makeup gone. It's so warm, and today has been so challenging. Literally, I had sweat pouring down my face, and I had to take all my makeup off at my mum's house. So I apologise for what you're looking at right now. It's not pretty. So I took my mum for her mammogram. They couldn't do it in the chair she was in because the sides don't come off. I had to try to get her transferred into a really crappy wheelchair. Managed it. They were pulling her all shapes trying to get this big rigid mammogram machine. I don't understand why they don't have something more mobile. I mean, when you go to the dentist, they pull this big thing down on an arm and put it here and it x-rays your jaw. Why can they not have something like that for disabled people with mammograms? Something a bit more mobile, but they're supposed to take 4 images and they only managed to take 2. And they were really lucky that they did the 2 because they manoeuvred her every which way, but my mum's mobility is really difficult and it's hard anyway, as sure any woman that's been for a mammogram will tell you. Or I suppose men probably have them too, because I know men can get breast cancer. And then she needed to get some millet and honey bars for the birds, so I got that. And when I was there, I found this should I say, hang on, let me get out onto this road first so I'm not showing you something while I'm supposed to be driving. And we're going to be sat here for a while. Cherry flavour Turkish Delight. Can't see a flipping thing. Big lorry in my way. Like, the cars are coming in this road at I'm sure 50 and they're supposed to be doing 30. Cherry Turkish Delight, folks. I love a Turkish Delight. But cherry, I love cherries as well, so I'm looking forward to having a go at that, I have to admit. I brought my mum back home as I was bringing her in. My dad's sister is over visiting from England, rushing, with her husband Mark from Burnley. Is it Burnley? Well, somewhere in Lancashire. We've got the boat home tonight, he said. I like rushing in, Mark. So they'd come down to see my mum and she wasn't in, but so they saw her for about half a minute. They had a few more places to go. What else can I tell you? I went into this cherry Turkish Delight. You saw it. I was like Austin Powers trying to get the car out with that bloody camper van thing parked where it was. So I got the car out first and parked it in the neighbour's space before I put my mum in it. But honestly, it was so difficult, and I pride myself in being quite good at manoeuvring into spaces and things. Still trying to get this. I'll tell you what it's like. Looks the same. Oh, that's tasty. That is damn tasty. It's a big bird. What's that? Is that a massive seagull? That can't be a seagull. I think it is. It's massive. The weather here today is so warm. Quite often, if you live near the coast, seagulls come inland when it's better weather. So it must be warmer here today than it is at the coast. It's showing 24 degrees at the minute. When I took my mum for the mammogram, it was 30. 30 degrees. I went down to 29 and I was picking up the stuff in the pet food shop. So Isaac I just phoned Darren, they've dropped some more work off at home for him, including some AR books to read. Probably some more tests. Isaac done the tests that they dropped off earlier in the week today, done one of them. He did the maths yesterday, did the English this morning, and he got 95%, which at the minute is the highest mark in the class. With no help, with no support, all on his own. I think that's awesome. It's incredible. To have come up from scoring mid-60s, like 6 months ago, to now be scoring mid-90s. Granted, most of his scores are still, probably 80%, 80 odd percent, which is still really, really good. So, as long as he doesn't let nerves get to him, Isaac tends to not perform as well when there's other people around as he does when there's no one. But that task itself of getting, 95%, and I'm sure they're thinking that we've helped him with it, but we didn't. So, I'll have to see what more work they've dropped off when I get home. But there's 8 children now in his class. Did I tell you earlier? Ruben is breastfed. I think I did. Ruben now has COVID. So we'll wait and see if anyone else does. Me and Isaac will do PCR tests again in the morning. Which means I had a sore throat. But I don't feel too bad now. Maybe I felt rubbish because I was so tired. I'm not used to getting up early in the morning. With my fibro, it just throws me for a loop entirely. But I've had to be up early because I'm homeschooling Isaac. And it wrecks me entirely. 5 to 5. I must tell you about last night. These vlogs, me in the car. I hope that you find something somewhat interesting sometimes when I'm in the car. Because I feel like I'm just talking at you, but I use this as almost like a conversation. I feel like I'm talking to someone. Last night, oh, my chocolate rum in my I tend to have this, I have sleep paralysis, which is where you wake up, you're still asleep, but you're mentally alert and you can't move, and you're seeing things that are in your dream, but you think it's real and you can't move. And it also comes with physical manifestation, as in you can feel like, or you're dreaming that someone is sitting on your chest, but you will feel that weight, and obviously you will see the person. One I used to get quite a lot was feeling like someone is choking me, and you feel the tightness, and it's something that your brain does, I don't understand. But aside from the sleep paralysis thing, this thing has been happening to me for years. It happened again last night, and it's terrifying. I don't know if you've ever had something frighten you so much that, that expression, your heart in your throat, but it does actually feel like your heart is about to leap out your mouth because it's hammering so hard in your neck, not just in your chest, just hammering in your neck, and you feel sick and you can't even talk because your voice has gone all shaky. And I was shaking from head to foot in complete terror. I, as far as I'm aware, was fully awake. I was listening to some YouTube, as I do in bed at night, to help me sleep. And the car was turning a corner. I don't know why it's giving me an impact warning. And I saw, I sleep with a window on this side, and I saw the dark shadow of a man-shaped thing coming round the side of my bed. And I've seen exactly the same thing on numerous occasions. Now, when that happens, I don't think, oh my god, there's a demon or a ghost in my bedroom. I think, oh my god, someone's broke into the house. That's my first thought. I leapt into the middle of the bed. Darren's like, whoa, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I'm like so frightened I physically couldn't speak. Somebody there. All I could get out, there's somebody there. And he's like, where? And I can't speak, I can't breathe properly, I'm shaking, my heart's hammering. Darren manages to get a light on, nothing, nobody there. And then you're left in a state of complete and utter confusion. You're not just confused, but you're still terrified, because that feeling of believing that someone's there in your room beside you on your side of the bed is still there. You're now aware that there's no one there, and you can't understand how in your mind you're wide awake and conscious and fully compass mentis, but you've seen something that very clearly is not there. And this has happened to me a number of times, and it's always the same thing. It's never different things, it's always the dark shadow shape of a man coming around the bed, always. And I can't even tell you how terrifying it is. It's awful. It's so real, and it must be something that's happening between a stage. Because I get sleep paralysis, I can only imagine it's something that's happening between the stage of sleep and wakefulness, where you feel like you're awake and you're not. But I physically can carry my dream into my physical surroundings, so my eyes can be open and I can see what I was maybe. But then again, I wasn't dreaming about it. In my mind, I was listening to a story, I was listening to something on YouTube, and then I saw the shadow of a man walk around the end of the bed and up my side past the window. And it was like, oh! And I wasn't asleep. But then, could I have had a micro sleep where I wasn't yet aware I was asleep? No idea. But it's horrible, whatever it is. It is, one of the nastiest things. I told my mum, what was my mum's now? I was expecting, oh, don't be silly, you must have been asleep. Get your house blessed, is what my mum said. So my mum wants me to go to the local priest. Father, what's his name? I've forgotten it now. It used to be Father Lyons. I've forgotten what the new priest is called. Father, could you come to my house and bless it? I've got a demon. So my mum wants me to get the house blessed. But what is a bit more worrying is Isaac has been complaining. Right, Isaac won't sleep in the dark. He has to have a night light. He won't sleep with his bedroom door open, even when it's really, really warm. And his room gets warm because it's small, because obviously the hallway's dark. And his reason for that is he says that he sees shadows and he thinks there's someone in his room. Obviously, never for a second would I ever tell him that I've seen exactly the same thing. Because I'm like, oh Isaac, you know, that happens when you're half asleep and half awake, and things look like things that they aren't, and blah blah blah. But yeah. So I don't know whether my mind's playing tricks on me and Isaac's mind's playing exactly the same tricks, or if there's a little ghoul, a little ghosty in our house. I'm not sure which it is, but either way, it's not pleasant. I shall speak to you guys later. Hello, it's Saturday. We're going to the cinema to see Shang-Chi, which I normally wouldn't go see, but it's had good reports. Isaac wants to see it, so we'll check it out. It's a superhero origin movie, I think. Don't know an awful lot about it, apart from most people are really enjoying it. The guy in front of me, this is going to go off. We're just out. I will have put a review up, which you can go watch. The short version is, Isaac loved it, I loved it, Darren didn't like it. 9 out of 10 from me, 9.35 out of 10 from Isaac, and 5 out of 10 from Darren. So go watch the review, you'll see what we thought. No spoilers in there, but, well, I will have cut them out because me and Darren did have a spoiler conversation in the middle. But yeah, liked it. So let me know what you thought if you've seen it. We're now heading home. We're stopping at the Chinese on the way home. Darren says inspired by the movie. Nope, I'd planned to stop at the Chinese. Actually,
no,
what's your suggestion?
Onion rings. 10 please.
I don't know if it should have onion rings, because nobody else eats them.
Yeah, but we'll get half a portion, I'll have one. 5 rings.
Right, we'll have
You can put them up your arm.
Well, it's... It depends who you get, because a lot of them won't let you have half a portion of onion rings. Some people that when they recognise Durham, because it's a disgrace when they know your order at the Chinese. We tend to go once a week, which
Even in a face mask.
Which is even in a face mask, they know us. Well, they wouldn't know me, but Durham's the one that goes in. But yes, we're on the way home. Chinese, which is always good. So let's hope that Dobby and Molly hasn't. Well, Molly never does anything. Let's hope Dobby hasn't done anything in the living room,
eaten anything.
because that really just gets you in the mood for your dinner.
Yeah, little sausages.
Yeah. So especially since the bag of sausages I picked up from outside this morning was not pleasant at all. Darren brushed them into a pile. Did he pick them up? No, left them. I went round the corner, big pile of dog crap, which I had to lift. And then I says to Isaac, can you fill up a watering can and go and pour some water over that area that's had the dog crap on it? When I went over to see what he was doing, he was pouring it up the fence.
No, it's not.
Unless the dog can defy gravity. I don't know.
Put her in the gutter.
He's pooing on the fence. The vertical fence.
I was putting it in the gutter.
They won't let us putting it on the fence.
I was putting it in
It was going in the gutter, yes Isaac, but you were pouring it on the fence. So nothing planned for the rest of today, just a lazy evening. I will be playing some Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Isaac will probably be on the Switch. Darren will be watching something or other. Are you still watching the Manchester bombings thing?
Oh, there's about 200 hours worth of that to get through.
Darren is compiling a video about the Manchester bombings, you know, the concert at Ariana Grande. And there's a lot of information that isn't public knowledge. That's really, really shocking. I'm looking forward to when they do it. I'm hoping it's not going to be like a year. I'm looking forward when he actually does it.
Down and maybe just a couple on certain things, else it'd just be hours and hours
Honest
long.
to God, it's like shocking
But the
stuff.
negligence that went on
Yes,
is...
there's a lot of people in that situation died because of the incompetence of some of the police, basically. That's all the only way I'll put it.
Police, security, arena staff, authorities.
But we'll not even get into it because it's too long. He's doing another one about the Bradford Fire. If you don't know, and a lot of people watching won't know if they're not football fans, what year was it?
85.
1985. Darren was at a Bradford football match with his dad and his pal Toby, as he was most Saturday afternoons. And there was a massive fire in which how many people died? 50 something?
265 injured, 56 dead.
56 people died. And again, there's a whole thing behind that and what happened and why it happened and people hiding stuff, and again it's mind-boggling. Darren was at it, and the only reason they weren't in the area, now remember when we left earlier and I was hacked off that he was keeping me waiting again, as he always does. The only reason they weren't in the area that burnt down is because they were late.
We weren't really late, it's just a lot of people were early, so we couldn't get in stand. So we went on the opposite side of the pitch.
It's Darren. They were late.
But the thing about the Bradford Fire is, again, the negligence they did after the fire directly led to Hillsborough.
It's a whole can
It's
of worms, and it is shocking. And I will. It is Sunday, and I'm closing off the vlog for the week. We're in the car, waiting to go to my mum's. Guess who we're waiting on? It is 10 to 2. I said to Darren, I want to be leaving at 1:45. I want to be in the car and driving away at 1:45. It's 10 to 2 and he's just walking back through the door. Haven't had to take the dogs out. Honestly, why can't people just manage their time? So, yeah, we're waiting now. It'll probably be another 5 minutes. So, have you this issue in your household with blokes? Or is it, why do people say it's women that are always late and women that keep people waiting? I never do. Darren always does. Oh, dear God. Right, just gone to my mum's. There's nothing else happening. We're waiting on Isaac's PCR test results from yesterday coming back, and he will be back to school tomorrow. And that's pretty much it. Nothing else happening. My dad's having his hair cut today, so I might... Daddy's cutting it. Dread to think the state it's going to be. So I might film that, or well, a little bit of it, because my dad won't want the film thing pointed at him. So I will leave you here, and if I do film that, I'll put the little clip in at the end. Thank you for watching. I've just noticed we need petrol as well. Wonderful. I have to take my mum for a MRI tomorrow night in Antrim, so I'm going to have to put petrol in. And I hope you join me next week for another weekly vlog. I like your apron. It's very
It's urban.
right.
I'm about urban alienization.
Really, I really would not want to be doing this. But right, off it goes. My
Well,
dad's hair.
I offered him a mullet, a Glen Hoddle mullet, and he said, no, it's coming off. Are you sure? Last chance.
Yep.
Bet that's sacrilege for you cutting
I
my
hate
hair.
it. I hate doing it. Blasphemy is this. Once I've done this, his hair's finished.
Hey, that's nice and straight.
That's it, we're done. All finished. That'll be 55 quid, please. Actually, have we got a plastic band? We'll tie this up.
Why is he wanting that?
Austerity. We can tie it, put it to a wall. Seriously, we've got an elastic band.
Let's go for an update.
I'm doing it.
Coming for an update. Oh, that's tidy. Right, show me Ma what's going on.
You could have gone live. You should have done Facebook Live.
No, I'm not going to be doing that. My dad kicked me out. Half his family would see it. Right, oh look at that. My God.
Yeah, I'm going to tie that one up as well.